Today in our 2016 Honda CRV, we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the CURT T-connector vehicle wiring harness with a 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C56158. So here's what our wiring is going to look like once we have it installed. It is going to provide us with a 4-pole flat trailer connector and all the circuits we need to safely get down the road, like our tail lights, turn signals, and our brake lights. Whenever we're not using it, it is designed to stay on the inside of the vehicle, so we can simply lift our hatch open and we can store it down by our spare tire. And when we do want to use it, we can simply pull it out, and so long as we stay away from the latch area, the weather stripping will have enough cushion that it won't damage our wire. Then we can simply close the hatch and we can hook up. Now our wiring is going to be a custom fit for our CRV. We're not going to have to cut or splice anything. We're just going to have one T-connector that's going to go behind the driver's side panel here. It's going to plug in and we'll have a fuse that we need to put in place. Our wiring is going to be fuse protected to make sure that we don't overload our circuits. So now that we've seen the end result of our wiring and gone over some of the features, let's show you how to get it installed. To begin our installation, we're going to want to open up the rear hatch and we're going to want to remove all the floor coverings in the back. So we'll pull this panel out and set it aside. Now the threshold panel here is also going to have to come out. So if we come to the latch area, we can kind of just come underneath this panel here and we can lift up, and that'll loosen up that center section. And for the main area, if we come just inside the hatch, we're going to find 2 push pin fasteners, one on each side, and you're going to want to press down on the center. You can kind of see that there's a small circle in the middle. You want to press down on the center. That's going to unlock the push pin. Then we can come underneath with a flat blade screwdriver and pop it out. And we'll do that for both of them, one on each side. Then you're going to want to start on one side and you're going to grab on the inside and lift up and work your way across, releasing all the clips holding that panel in place. And we can set this aside. Now on the driver's side panel, towards the front, we're going to have another push pin down here. So you want to grab a flat blade screwdriver or a trim panel tool. We're going to come underneath the bottom of it and pop it out. Then we'll have a cargo tie-down hook over against the side. You're going to want to press in on the center at the same time that you're pulling out, and it'll allow it to come out all the way. We're going to have one more cargo tie-down hook that's going to be at the very back, close to where our threshold was. You're going to want to grab a 10mm socket and pull the bolt out that's holding it in place. Now with all those fasteners removed, the plug we're going to be looking for is behind this panel on the driver's side. So we're going to want to pull that panel out so we can get access. So I'm going to be using a plastic trim panel tool. I'm going to come behind the panel, just kind of pull the weather stripping out of the way a little bit. And we want it to release the clips so we can start at the bottom and just start working our way towards the top, where those clips start releasing. And once we have it loose a little bit, we're going to keep going until we can get access back here. But you want to be careful because you don't want to damage the panel. So once we have that lower panel pulled away, we're going to want to pull away the upper panel as well. There'll be a small tab on the end here. We can press it, and then it'll separate the 2 connectors. We can grab our wiring harness and we can plug it in. And once we have those 2 connectors plugged in, we need to find a flat spot that we can attach our ground wire to. It's already going to have a ring terminal crimped in place, so we can use a self-tapping screw from our kit or find an existing ground to attach it to. I'm going to use a 1/4-inch bit driver. I'm going to go right into the sheet metal here, but keep in mind it's a good idea to always double check what's behind there before you start drilling. I want to make sure that self-tapping screw is tight enough to where that ring terminal is not going to be moving around. While we still have access back here, we're going to want to open up the fuse holder. And we're going to take the provided 10 amp fuse that comes in our kit. We'll put it in the fuse holder and put the cover back on. And we're also going to need to find a spot to mount our converter box. Fortunately, they provide us with some double-sided tape. So let's take the backing off of one side. We'll stick it directly to the converter box. We'll remove the backing off the other side. And we're going to want to find a nice flat spot to put the box. So I'm going to put mine behind all these wires and such, below the connector, because it's going to be a nice flat spot. You just want to make sure you have enough room for all your wires and everything else. That way it'll be out of the way of the panel whenever we put it back in place. You want to make sure you take your 4-pole wire and you route it underneath that panel so that it's out of the way, but it comes out by your spare tire. Then we can start putting all the panels and fasteners back in place. With everything put back together at the back, we're going to come underneath the dash on the driver's side, right where our fuse panel is. Now there's going to be an open spot on the bottom row here. It's going to be next to a 20 amp and a 15 amp fuse. We're going to want to take the included 10 amp fuse from our kit. We're going to want to put it in place. Then we can test all of our circuits to make sure our wiring is working properly. So I got my 4-pole tester plugged in. And if you need one of these, you can pick one up here at etrailer.com using part number I26. But if I turn on my headlights, we can see that my tail light function's working, along with my left turn signal, my right turn signal, and my brakes. All we have left to do now is hook up to our trailer and hit the road. That'll finish up your look at the CURT T-connector vehicle wiring harness with 4-pole flat trailer connector, part number C56158, on our 2016 Honda CRV.